This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, everybody, welcome. I'm going to start putting out a series of webinars on marketing. So we'll go through quite a few different types of marketing programs. You don't have to absorb them all and implement them, but I always think that if you're going to start a marketing program, you got to know what it entails. You need to know the cost, time cost, financial cost, and you got to be able to track it so you know your results to see if it's working for you. In tracking your results, then you can make some tweaks, adjustments to correct it, increase your contacts, or maybe drop it, go to another marketing program. So the first one I want to start with is leads. And I hear there's some people are pretty negative about leads. It is a marketing program, okay? So according to EverQuote, I mean, if you were to buy 100 leads, you'd probably have a 2 to 6% close ratio, lead to close ratio, which a lot of people don't think is that great. Okay. Now, this is just anybody, lead comes in, they're calling, and it's random. But we want to take a closer look at it. Like I said, if you're going to jump into a lead program, know what it entails, okay? And so let's go a little deeper into kind of the marketing approach of using leads. So let's go into some information here. So I kind of network with people everywhere. And so I kind of gather data that I think is useful to help you make informed decisions on what you want to do in marketing, promoting your agency, and building your business, right? So this is some information from Zant. They did a survey for about 3 years. They tracked 3 years of data, over 400 companies, right? Responding to 5.7 million marketing leads with over 55 million sales activities in the mission. The focus was, how should business development teams respond to inbound leads? Eliminate guessing, prioritize your efforts, and maximize results. So out of all of this information that they've gathered, this is what they've put together. The best days to make calls for marketing lead follow-up: Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So if you are going to follow up, these are the dates to do it, right? And as you can see, Tuesday is like the better day to reach out. People tend to have a little bit more of a conversion, at least a little more communication, or people do respond more for some apparent reason on those days, right? So again, conversion rates are 15% higher on Mondays and Thursdays and 19.7% higher on Tuesdays. So that's like a great day to definitely follow up. The best times to make contact, well, as you can see, in the morning. Now, we do have some time limitations, so we really can't call before 8 a.m. But between 8 a.m. and I'd say 11, that would be the best time to reach out to people. 28.4% higher from 9 to 10 in the morning than the full day average. Right? So again, although we cannot call that early, right? Calling in the morning on those days, you get a little more traction. And that's what we're looking for. If you're going to work leads, know when is the best time to follow up, when's the best time to call and reach out, okay? So just want to give you some insight. If you do buy internet leads or you get leads from somewhere, you got to have it set up on your phone to where you get notified immediately, and you want to respond immediately. As soon as that lead comes in, you want to reach out while the information's still fresh. Again, within the next 6 to 30 minutes, there's an 8 times decrease after 5 minutes, okay? And it's even lower. And there's a lot of agents, they buy leads and they don't even respond, all right? They get to it when they feel they have the time. But again, if you're going to work with leads, you got to be quick to contact. That's going to increase your success. Volume, first call responses, right? Less than 1 attempt occurs within 5 minutes. Most people don't call. So as much as that's the best time to call, most agents don't call. All right, 57.1% of all attempts wait longer than a week to call or follow up. Actually, no, this is the first call. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, that's way too late. Okay. 70% of leads that were purchased were not even responded to at all. I mean, to me, that's missed opportunity. You're jumping into a marketing program, you're spending money and buying these leads, and you're not even using the program appropriately. So, again, we want to change that. But you got to have the knowledge and understand what's going on, and also being persistent. So not only following up on that lead, just continuously following up. Most people after the first week, they just kind of stop. Okay, just let the system, they plug it into their CRM and let them do an automatic email campaign, which we have. But it's going to task you to call, and you got to reach out. You got to continuously reach out. 81% of sellers make 5 or fewer follow-up attempts. Right? 7 or more follow-up attempts yields about a 15% better connection, or more connections, I should say. And so the better the connection, the more frequent the connections, the more likely you are to build a relationship and work towards getting a sale. All right, so you got to keep following up. And it's not just letting the email campaign run. It's reaching out, following up, giving them a call, maybe texting them, whatever it may be. So Steve McAnena, president of distribution, basically says, hey, we will expand our agents' use of purchased internet leads, upgrade farmers.com for lead generation, provide lead management technology to our agents, and introduce affinity relationships. All these efforts are aimed at sending high quality leads to our agents. And so I'm going to, in this particular training, I'm looking at you buying leads and working those leads. In the future training, we will talk about the farmers.com, farmers fast quotes, or sometimes or the Omni leads, where they buy from farmers and that lead passes to you, or they're interested, they go to farmers.com, but they don't buy, but that lead is passed to you. So we'll talk about that in a future training. In working leads, you got to have a lead expansion program. And lucky for you, farmers spent millions of dollars to provide Apex for you. It's a Salesforce program. The internet lead success rates increase when these leads are worked in a lead management system with fast and consistent follow-up attempts. The likelihood to contact the lead improves to 93% chance after 6 attempts versus only 39% at the first attempt. These 6 attempts typically occur within the first 24 to 48 hours. So you do want to reach out quite frequently as soon as that lead pops in. But if you don't connect, you still have to continuously follow up and reach out and connect with them. We did have an agent from one of the other districts there. They kept following up with a lead, and they eventually got the lead because the customer says, you are reaching out to me more often than my agent does. And so I want someone who's going to be there, and they jump ship and move over to this particular agent. So people like attention. They don't like to admit it, but they like attention. A sample follow-up process. This is just one sample. There's all kinds of ways of following up. Day 1, call as soon as you can. Right? Be quick to contact. The second call should be about 30 to 60 minutes after that first call. And then the third call should be 1 to 2 hours after you got that lead. Okay. So again, call immediately, call after 30 minutes, maybe call an hour and a half after you got that lead. Just follow up, follow up, follow up. Some agents do what's called a double tap. I don't know if you've heard of this or not, where they call a number, they let it ring once, twice, and then they hang up, and then they call back. And so some people think that, well, someone called me, they hung up, I guess it wasn't important, but then they call back, oh, this must be important then. And they pick up. So again, these are just some options for you to utilize. You don't have to, but it's just something to consider. And if you don't get a hold of them, should you leave a voicemail or not? And that's up to you and your agency. All right, maybe you have a quick message you want to leave. Hey, call me back. This is Lauren from Farmers Insurance. I'd like to talk to you. And leave your phone number and hang up. Okay, whatever it may be. So, or not leave a voicemail. It's up to you. If you don't leave a voicemail, I definitely would follow up with a text. Okay. And this is what it is. You can have call to text. So this is if you're on the road too. You can text them a message right away. Most people won't pick up a call if they don't know who's calling. They don't check their voicemail, but they will respond to a text. And so you want that to be part of your system or process in following up with someone. Right? So you can do the call to text, or you can do just flat out text messaging. Right? Hopefully a lot of you have ZipWhip, where you can actually go into Apex. Once a lead is in Apex, you can go in and click on that ZipWhip icon, and you can actually text them immediately from your computer. Or if you can have the ZipWhip app on your phone, you can text them there. Use scripts. as much as you want to wing it, initially you don't want to wing it. You want to use some scripts. This is a sample, okay? I have these. If you want some scripts, please reach out to me. I have all kinds. I don't want to flood your email box with all kinds of scripts. So let me know specifically what you're interested in, and I can get you some scripts. But as a starting point, you do want to use scripts because you got to know the flow, and you want to work on handling objections. Right? You will get objections. I mean, that's just the nature of the game here in insurance, right? But if someone has an objection, you have to have a response to it. Okay, so I'm not interested. I totally get you. Getting an insurance quote can take forever when you have to answer a lot of questions and start a quote from scratch. So luckily, your quote is already prepared, and I have it right here in front of me. I'll share the price with you in a moment, but first, I want to see if we can apply some additional discounts that the system may have missed. Okay, and so these are some responses that you could use if you do get an objection. But have the scripts ready. Practice, 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 so it's more fluid, it's a lot smoother, versus something that you're reading from, because your customers can hear that, they can feel that. So practice, practice, practice. I've been called too many times. This is another one you're going to get. And so again, you got to have a response. I don't want to keep you on the line any longer than necessary. Well, since you took the time to fill out the entire form, would you be willing to look at a quote I've prepared for you? It only takes about 2 or 3 minutes. If not, when is a better time to continue this conversation? And if they give you a date and time, better put it in your calendar and make sure you call them on that date at that time. They told you they're going to be available, and you got to call them on that date and time. Okay? So do what you say what you do. You become what you study. You got to practice, you got to study. Learn all you can about this system. So for Apex, you can go to from the dashboard, you go to Apex Resources. It's going to take you to the site, Apex, and there's all kinds of information. We got the new email coming in. It's going to be integrated with Apex, the ECMS to Apex transition. There's live webinars to train. There's Q&A webinars that they typically have every week that you can join in and just get in the mix of actively learning the changes as they filter through the Apex system. There's some additional items you can click on, right? Apex reference guide, some more Apex training, University of Farmers, right? A little intro video and things like that. So you got to jump in. You got to learn it. You can't just wing it. You can't just, just it's something farmers put out, but I don't have to use it. I'm going to recommend you use it for all of your leads. Right. Then you want to go into Apex, of course, right? So just, wave your mouse over the launch. You get the drop down. You click on that Apex powered by Salesforce. It takes you to the Apex dashboard. Right. There's some additional training right over here. So you can actually click on that, and it takes you to the different training buttons. Some of them are PDFs. Some of them are little webinars. But as you can see, there's 3 to each page, and there's a lot, and they keep adding to this. So this is a marketing program or lead expansion program that keeps changing and keeps adapting to the feedback that they get from farmers agents. So keep up to date with that. It's going to help you out. Practice, practice, practice. I cannot emphasize that enough. I mean, we got Apex coming at you. We got Guidewire. We got the, Microsoft 365, email coming at you. There's a lot. But if you just dive in and start using it and being more and more comfortable with it, knowing the steps and processes, you'll be a lot better off. All right. Now, I always want to emphasize that, let's say you work that lead, you get the sale. Okay, great. One of the things you can do is have an onboarding email. This is one that we took from one of our other agents. Hey, Julie, I submitted your home policies effective June of 2021 or whatever the date is, right? You'll be getting some emails from farmers to sign your documents via DocuSign. I have also attached the evidence of insurance for your records. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for trusting my agency with insuring your home. You may receive an email from farmers asking for a review. We would really appreciate it if you could take a moment to complete it. These reviews will also help other homeowners just like you who aren't sure who they can trust with their insurance needs. Welcome to Farmers and the Crawford Insurance Agency. Right? So this is letting them know what's coming down the pipeline, that they will need to sign some documents, and that they can reach out to you if they have any questions. Make yourself available. Right? Always think of ways of moving your business forward. Remember, this is just one avenue of working leads. Know the processes, know the steps. We will get into some Apex training where you're putting the leads in, or if you got a lead, how to work it through Apex. So keep an eye out for some ongoing training. Right? Thank you for your time and watching this webinar. Good luck in your sales, and have a great day.